So we are at Upton Marina today, looking at some of the boats that Tingdene have up for sale at the moment. Now this particular boat is very special. This is a Sealine F33, and this is one that I think, well, for what it is very competitively priced. So this is Spring Mist, which is a Sealine F33. Now these boats are awesome, mainly because this was kind of the era where Sealine were kind of doing a world of firsts. A lot of things that you'll see on this boat are ideas that Sealine had, which later on companies like Princess, Fairline and other British boat manufacturers tried to copy. Now Sealine today are made in Germany, but back in the day this was made in Kidderminster. Now before we go and have a look inside, of course you have your davits on the back for a tender. Very simple davit system, nothing to really go wrong with these. Brilliant, they work every single time. So yeah, let's go and have a look on board. So without further ado, let's head on board. Now you will have to excuse the boats all being covered today. We're expecting some severe rain, which put my bag down. But this is a very, very, very nice boat. So this is something that Sealine always did really well, which is these huge, very nice social areas. Now these social areas here are perfect for if you are looking for a nice, probably long week away. Now we will talk about the flybridge later. Fortunately it's all covered today because of the weather we're expecting, but I will insert some pictures now so you can have a little look. But it's a very decent space considering the size of boat. I'd also like to note that most 33-foot boats that have a flybridge do not have steps like this. Most of them will have a very rickety ladder. This doesn't. This has proper steps. Now this is why you buy a boat like this space in here. You'll have to ignore the cushions, of course. Everything's been bought inside to keep it dry, especially with the weather that we're about to have. But let's start off with the galley because it's the first thing that greets you. Now this is probably, I'd say, as close as you're going to get to a galley after layout, although it's technically a mid galley. But this is a very, very comfortable size. I can't think of anything you wouldn't be able to do in this galley that you would need to do on a week out on the water. Also want to point out that you will see throughout the boat fridges, for example, have been left open so they, don't go mouldy. There's dehumidifiers and heaters all over the boat. This boat smells absolutely lovely inside. There's not a hint of damp or anything like that at all. Now, very quickly, we'll talk about just this area here. So obviously very sociable seating. You've got the high-low table. Now, something that Sealine have always been amazing at is their quality of wood. For example, the flooring down here is absolutely lovely. It's also worth noting as well, the condition of the carpet is really, really good. Now, a big complaint I see from people is that they don't like the engines actually being within the kind of saloon area. And that's an understandable complaint. And it's actually one of the reasons that a lot of people don't give these boats a chance. However, the engines aren't under here. That is storage. The engines are in fact back here. So any fumes, not that you'd need to worry about them, but any fumes aren't coming in to your living space of the boat. Now, this boat, of course, has been winterized, so it's a little warning there to not start up the boat. And that's why the boat is currently kind of like sealed up and everything for the winter. But let's just talk about some of the stuff this boat does have. So of course we have the Raymarine Pathfinder here, and you've got an ST60 there as well. Now this boat has a bow thruster. Being 33 foot, it doesn't necessarily need one, especially being twin engine. You do have that authority with both engines to be able to bring the bow in or out, but obviously that's a quality of life thing, so of course it has it. And you also have your trim tabs over there, and of course a Sealine classic, the walnut wood. Now we're going to head below, so we'll start off by taking a swift left. So here, of course, you have the heads. It is a more than acceptable size. In fact, it's pretty decent for the size of boat, to be honest. And of course, you have a shower attachment there, so of course you can have a little shower in here. And before we look at the master, we're going to have a look at in here. So this is actually quite unusual for the size of boat. This is, of course, another cabin, but it's actually somewhat decent size. I mean, headroom in here is probably twice as much as you'd get in a, a Bayliner 285 or Weekender. And it's actually a really decent space for a short week on board, or even a long week on board, to be honest. Now, stepping in, of course, there is storage in here. But to be honest, this is where you'd stick the kids. I'd say maybe for adults a weekender is fine. Probably a long week on board might be a bit of a struggle, but overall for a 33-foot boat, that's very decent. Then of course we have the master cabin. Now this is something that Sealine have always been very good at, knowing how to make space where there shouldn't be space. This is honestly absolutely fine. You can comfortably get in here. There is storage absolutely everywhere. Let's have a little look. Yeah, that's surprisingly good. And also as well, there's a lot of light in here, obviously from that skylight, but also from how big these windows are. Normally these are kind of eyelet style windows. They're quite small portholes, but in this, they're a decent size. Also, the things that you can't see on camera in terms of smell, it doesn't smell damp in here. It doesn't smell like there's anything eating away at anything. Honestly, this boat has been well cared for and well looked after. And of course, the heads are Jack and Jill, so you can get in here relatively easy just by opening this door. So it means in the evening, you can pop to the toilet without disturbing anyone else on the boat. Now let's head back towards the stern of the boat. This boat is incredibly bright. Very nice, very nice. Now for the year of boat, which is the 2003, this is actually quite ahead of its time because of the things like the cream upholstery. A lot of these boats came with a purple or blue upholstery, which is very much the thing of the time for Sealine, but this stands the test of time surprisingly well. Now standing back at the helm, because I haven't actually mentioned this yet, but visibility is really good, really good. Of course in the summer you're going to be on the flybridge, but if you actually just want to sit down and drive your boat, this is the place to do it. The visibility is amazing thanks to these very, very thin mullions here, but it's a really commanding position. So if you are interested in this boat, it is currently up with Tingdene. There is a link down below. Make sure to let them know I sent you. For the money it's up for, this is a fantastic boat for the price. This is first boat sort of money with fifth boat sort of quality. Absolutely brilliant. If you did enjoy today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next one.